Tonight, a deadly blast rocks the Turkish capital. Flames reach into the sky after an explosion near a military convoy. We'll have the very latest details just ahead. Also, CNN rides along as aid agencies set out to help some of Syria's besieged towns. Plus, Apple takes on the FBI. Why the tech giant says the agency's latest request could threaten customer privacy. And the rivalry between Ted Cruz and Donald Trump heats up, with Cruz telling Trump, "Sue me." We'll explain just ahead. Hello, I'm Lynda Kinkade, live from the CNN Centre, sitting in for Halagrani. This is The World Right Now. The Turkish military claims a deadly explosion in the capital, Ankara, was an act of terrorism. Turkish Deputy Prime Minister says the blast killed at least 28 people and wounded dozens more. The military says it targeted military buses stopped at a traffic light. We will have new video that purportedly shows the moment of impact, according to the DHA TV. You can see a busy street in Ankara and a bus. We're about to show you a bus stopped on the side of a road. Then you will see a flash and everything goes white. Then there's smoke and fire. Our senior international correspondent Arwa Damon joins me live now from Istanbul with details on the attack. Arwa, unlike the recent attacks we've seen in Turkey, this one was directed at the military. What can you tell us so far?
Well, the government is calling it an act of terrorism, one that was well planned, according to the Deputy Prime Minister, as that convoy came to a stop at that traffic light. And the area where it happened is also very close to the Turkish General Staff building, as well as the Parliament building. Now, you were mentioning there this death toll. Many are fearing that it is going to rise, right now standing at 28 killed, 61 wounded. Unclear at this stage how many of them were civilians and how many of them were military personnel riding in that convoy that included military buses as well as other vehicles. The very difficult process of trying to identify those who died is now underway. The Turkish security apparatus and emergency services responding very quickly, arriving on scene within minutes, trying to secure the area. And there was a fairly dramatic scene, as we have been showing in this video, with that huge fire that erupted, as well as the seemingly large blast that was caused by, according to authorities at this stage, a vehicle packed with explosives. Now, the Turkish government is not yet blaming or saying that any one group in particular was responsible for this attack, but the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has issued a statement saying that this will only strengthen the Turkish government's resolve.
Besides issuing that statement, how else is the government responding? I understand the Turkish Prime Minister has cancelled his trip to Brussels. Exactly what are they going to do to respond to yet another attack?
Well, look, in the past when these attacks have happened, and they have sadly been happening fairly frequently, especially over the past year, the government has come out and blamed ISIS for them. And if you'll remember, these past attacks were mostly targeting civilians during demonstrations. We saw it happening over the summer in a border town along the Syria-Turkey border. We saw the horrific twin suicide bombings in Ankara back in October that killed well over 100 people, the single deadliest attack in Turkey's modern-day history. And then more recently, we had the suicide bombing in the touristic heart of Istanbul, targeting a group of German tourists. But this appears to be different in that it was going after the military. So in the past, after these attacks, we have seen large, massive sweeps happening countrywide, although these do happen on a fairly regular basis, with hundreds of people being taken into custody. And in this case, it's really going to depend probably largely on who is responsible. The two main culprits, ISIS on the one hand, that does and has issued direct threats to Turkey, but also you have this ongoing battle between the Turkish government and the Kurdish separatist group, the PKK. Now, they have been fighting mostly in the southeastern part of the country. Huge swaths of it are war zones. Areas of it are under constant curfew, with hundreds of people having been killed over the last few months. But this also has moved into what Turkey considers to be one battle zone between Turkey and Syria, as Syrian Kurdish groups continue to advance in that country. So it's a phenomenally complicated situation, Lynda, and we have been seeing Turkey, especially since the weekend, launching these cross-border artillery strikes, trying to stop the Syrian Kurds from advancing. They've been battling the PKK within their own territories, and of course they're always constantly bracing themselves for these types of attacks, either from the PKK, from ISIS, or even from any number of other smaller terrorist organizations that are known to operate within Turkey's borders as well.
Okay, Arwa Damon, we appreciate you in the field there for us in Istanbul. Thank you very much.